Good morning, y'all. What's up, Juggalos? Good morning, Juggalos. Scully back on here with another day of daily vlogs. I'm here at work and everything. Been here for a couple hours. I'm just gonna come on here real quick, give you guys a little couple of updates. The spire that's outside Westcliff, the Junkins fire, it's still burning. What the paper says as of last night, it's at 16,000 acres. I did hear last night that it's up to 20,000 acres. At least 5 homes and 13 buildings have been destroyed. So this is getting pretty out of control. The smoke isn't really engulfed in town anymore like it was yesterday. I have noticed it looks like it's a lot more south of town. It's not out at the cabin like it was yesterday. It has not been out there at all. I do keep having people ask me, people coming in and friends and everything asking me of how bad it's out there, and it's really not getting that bad at my house or out at the cabin. It's nowhere near that area. The smoke's not even affecting it. I have had like probably 5 friends offer me a place to stay and everything, and for you guys, I do appreciate that and thank you very much. So I do know that if it does spark up and get pretty bad and come up towards Westcliff where we have to evacuate, I do have a few different places I can go, so that is always good. But yeah, and I don't really know too much else guys, but I do want to say I'm gonna try a couple new things with the vlog, try to make them more interesting and everything. I'm probably gonna bring in like little like subjects or something, like I'll talk about one thing per vlog or something like that. I'll still update you guys with everything that's going on, you know. I'm still going to bring you into my life and everything. I think I'm just going to add more beef into the vlogs and everything. I'm probably going to start that with today. I don't know exactly what I'm going to start talking about yet, but I will get that figured out before I leave. I'll have plenty of research and everything, so I'll definitely talk to you guys about something when I get home from work tonight. But yeah, and like I always say guys, if you have any suggestions about what you want me to do, what you want to see, what you want to hear me talk about, or anything, please leave them in the comments below. I will check all my comments and everything. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here guys, and I'm just gonna wait until I get home to probably get on again, unless something interesting happens. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in a few hours. Hey, what's up guys? I'm still here at work, and I just wanted to come on and give you guys a little update about what is going on in the Juggalo world a little bit. I don't know if all of you have heard this yet or seen anything posted on Facebook or on I'm getting this is off of Fago Lover's website, but it is from the recent Twisted just had a little Q&A pretty much at a show, and they gave a big update about everything that's going on. First thing, the biggest thing is Boondocks is officially signed to Magic Ninja Entertainment. Boondocks is on MNE now, and he is currently working hard at work on his new album, which I'm pretty sure is going to be called The Murder. That is still up for debate. They are MNE is still going to sign one more solo artist and a group artist. So they have 2 new groups coming in, a solo and a group. Lex the Hexmaster is working on his album. Gmo Ski is working on his. Twisted's new album is going to be coming out in January. Twisted is working with a new action figure company for getting new action figures. Magic Ninja Entertainment is going to release a compilation album with all the artists on MNE all in one album. There is talk about a new Triple Threat album be working on, which is going to be dope as hell. I really hope they do that. Blazin' ROC is working on a new Zodiac Imprint CD, and there is going to be 3 more albums set to drop before June of 2017. So I wonder what all those are going to be. Next year is Twisted's 20th year anniversary of being Twisted, so they have some pretty big surprises in store. They haven't really announced what they're going to do. They probably want to make it a surprise, but 20 years is a long ass time to be working and to be going continuous and going as dope and hard as they are. Hey guys, I'm on my way home now from work. Had actually an alright day, went by pretty fast. I heard a little bit more news about this fire. I know you guys are probably kind of getting kind of tired of hearing about it, and this will be the last time I say something, but it's burning at 17,000 acres, and it's not growing. I talked to a reporter here in town, and last he knew, he said it was at 17,000 acres, and it's not growing, but they don't really have it contained at all yet. So I don't really know what that means. I would think if it's not growing anymore, I would think that means it's contained a little bit, but at least it's not growing. I know there's like 400 firefighters and volunteers and everything out here helping, which is good. So that, and I know there's I don't know how many, but there's quite a few helicopters helping too, grabbing water up from Lake San Isabel and dumping on the fire. But I know there's multiple helicopters and hundreds of firefighters and volunteers helping out, which is good. And again, guys, I do express this, just please keep everybody out there in your thoughts and prayers, of everybody who's been affected, and all the firefighters and volunteers who are out there helping. You know, us up here in the community, we greatly appreciate it and everything. So, but yeah, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up on this video for support for those guys. Very much appreciated, guys. I stopped and got me some Subway. I'm gonna get to the cabin, feed the animals, and eat myself, and then I will start on the rest of this video. I got a good little bit of information for you guys, and I really think that this story will trip you the fuck out, because it really does trip me out. Every day I read more and more about this shit, and it just bugs me out completely. So, yeah, I'll see you guys here in a second. Okay, what's up, guys? I'm back here in the cabin now and everything, and now I want to take a few minutes and everything and try something new, and I want to talk to you guys about something. Now, I've been reading about this online and everything, and the more and more I read about it, the more and more it trips me out. And it's more of a conspiracy theory, really, but there's a lot of hard evidence that points to it being something more real. And it's called the Mandela effect. If you haven't heard of the Mandela effect, it stems from, it pretty much comes from South America President Nelson Mandela. A lot of people, like a great amount of people, believe that he died back in the late 1980s or 1991, something like that, that he died in prison. And there are a lot of news articles, news clippings, and there were interviews, TV interviews and everything done by family members and everything. There was a funeral and all that. And there's quite a few people who believe and remember Nelson Mandela dying and passing away back in the late 80s. But also, if you remember, Nelson Mandela just recently died in 2015, I believe it was, just a few years ago. So, what is up with that? Why do so many people believe that Nelson Mandela passed away in prison, but yet here he just passed away a few years ago? And that's not the only thing, really. It stems from a whole bunch of other things like that. What the conspiracy theory comes from is a lot of people believe that we're in like a split reality, or a separate dimension, or an alternate dimension, or something like that. And one of the biggest clues to this was now I was born in '84, so I am a product child of the '80s. I grew up in the '80s. I grew up in the '90s. So I do remember a lot of this stuff, and I can actually vouch from, you know, my personal memory, remembering all this stuff. And then the biggest one, and this is what really sparked the whole Mandela effect, was, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the 90s, there was a children's book called The Berenstain Bears. Now, I remember it being the Berenstain Bears. I have talked to numerous people, and they all remember it being the Berenstain Bears. Now, I had every single book, so I, you know, would think I would remember what this is. Now, it was spelled B-E-R-E-N-S-T-E-I-N, Berenstain Bears. But if you were to go online and Google it right now, that's not the case. It is spelled Stain, the Berenstain Bears. So what's up with that? Why is it different, and why does everybody remember it being the Berenstain Bears? That's another clue to us being in like a separate alternate dimension, which is very, very similar to the one that we were in, and somehow we switched over to an alternate dimension somewhere, changing a few small little things. And I'm going to go through a list of a whole bunch of other things that, you know, were one thing from when I was a child to where they're completely different now. I used to play Monopoly a lot when I was a kid, so I remember the Monopoly man very distinctly. I remember him having a little monocle on. But if you were to look at him now, he has no monocle. Now, I was never a fan of Pokemon. I'll be straight honest with you. I think I was just a little too old for that. But I do know what Pokemon is, and I do remember what Pikachu looks like. And when they first came out and everything, I remember Pikachu having a little black stripe at the tip of his tail. But if you look at him now and look at all his research of him, he doesn't have a black. It's just all yellow. Why is it different? Do I remember him having a black tail, and why does everybody else remember him having a black tip tail? But all the pictures you find of him now, he doesn't. Now, and I honestly don't know why I remember this and know this, because I was definitely too young to watch it. But the show Sex and the City, you know, when I was a kid, it was Sex in the City. But if you look at it now, it's Sex and the City, and apparently has always been. Why do I remember it being Sex in the City? Why? I've seen videos online of people talking about this specific one, and they have products and, you know, DVDs, or not necessarily DVDs, but they had some book or something that said Sex in the City. They had special Sex in the City kits and everything. Why do all those say Sex in the City? You know, and why does everybody remembering it being in and not and? Now also, along with, you know, Berenstain Bears, you know, I used to read Curious George all the time. I remember Curious George having a tail. I remember him swinging from trees. I remember him swinging from the shelves in the house and everything. But if you look at him now, if you watch the Curious George movie and everything, he has no tail. My daughter even brought that up to me the other day. Or it was actually a couple months ago. I don't know if she was joking or anything, but she asked me, she was like, "Does Curious George have a tail?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she just sat there and argued with me for a little bit, and then we went home and looked in her books, and the books she has at home has no tail on it. Why do I remember him having a tail, and why does everybody else remember him having a tail? And also along that, you guys know Peanuts. You know, Charlie Brown, the creator, Charles Schulz. I watched Peanuts a lot when I was a kid. I know probably every one of you watches the Charlie Brown Halloween special and Thanksgiving special and the Christmas special. Shit, the Halloween special is coming on this weekend, I believe. How did you spell Charles Schulz's last name? It was Schultz, right? Apparently that's wrong. Apparently there is no T. I guess it's just Schulz. Now, I know a lot of you 80s babies like me are going to remember the show Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And, you know, pretty much every kid watched that show, and every kid knows the theme song. And I'm not about to sing it, but he goes, in the neighborhood is part of the song. He never says that. Apparently it's in this neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. I remember it being, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. That's how I always sang it. That's how I've always heard other people singing it. That's really the way I remember it being on the show. And now, kind of on the lines of the TV things, series line is Star Wars. Now, if you have not seen Star Wars, everybody, or have only seen the first one, this is a spoiler, just to pre-warn you. When Darth Vader reveals to Luke that he's his father, what does he say, guys? He says, "Luke, I am your father." right? That's the way it's always been. That's the way it's been in all the parodies. That's the way everybody remembers it. That's not what Darth Vader says. He says, "No, I am your father." When did it switch to him saying no? Now, if you want to get a little bit different than TV stuff and everything, remember the shoes Skechers? They were spelled Sketchers, right? Apparently there is no T. Skechers, Skechers. That's like Skechers, not Skechers. Do you remember the cartoon Looney Tunes? It was spelled Toons, right? Because they're cartoons. Apparently not. Apparently now it's Tuns, like show tunes or some shit like that. They don't sing show tunes, they don't sing songs or anything, they're little cartoons. That's why it's Looney Tunes. Also, if you can get in, you can also go into food. Even there's quite a bit of food that's different now. When I was a kid, I remember it being Captain Crunch, spelled out Captain. If you go look in the store now or even Google it, everything you will see will be CAP''N, Cap'n Crunch. Like Papa Cap'n Crunch. Fruit Loops. I ate Fruit Loops all the time when I was a kid. And how did you guys spell it? Like Fruit? Fruit Loops? Because they were fruity? That's apparently not how it was spelled. Which, boggles my mind because I ate Fruit Loops was my go-to cereal. That's what cereal I always got when I was a kid. Apparently it's spelled F-R-O-O-T. Fruit Loops. That doesn't make sense really. And I don't like this candy bar at all, and I honestly don't like chocolate, but Kit Kats, I know how Kit Kats were spelled. I remember seeing them on the shelves because for one, I used to work in quite a few different places that would sell them. When I was a kid, they were right next to my favorite candy bar. It's KIT-KAT, right? That's the way everybody else remembers it too. Apparently there is no dash. It's just KIT-KAT, like it's one word. And also, do you remember, Oscar Mayer, the hot dogs? I wish I was an Oscar Mayer wiener. How was it spelled? Was it M-E-Y-E-R? Apparently it was spelled with an A. I remember the song, it was O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a first name is M-E-Y-E-R. Not with an A, that's Mayer. And I've even heard people say that on the internet. That's not spelt right. That's not spelt right. That's not even pronounced right. How could you get Meyer out of M-A? That's Mayer. And you remember Jiffy peanut butter? I remember Jiffy peanut butter back in the 80s and in the early 90s. Apparently it was not Jiffy. It was never Jiffy. It's just Jif. And that's the way it is now too. And also, when Volkswagen, this is a really, really, really trippy one with Volkswagen. How do you remember spelling Volkswagen when you was a kid? I've had friends that had Volkswagens. I really like the Bugs. I love the 60s vans. I've watched a lot of shows about remodeling Volkswagens. There's Volkswagens on Lost and everything, and it's spelled W-A-G-A-N, right? Wagon? Apparently not. Apparently it's always spelled with an E. W-A-G-E-N. Like wagon. That doesn't sound right. And also with Volkswagen, this is kind of a double one with Volkswagen, is the emblem. You know how it's a V right on top of a W? The two have always been connected, right? That's how I always remember them. I've seen the emblems everywhere. I remember the commercials when I was a kid. Shit, I've had friends that stolen Volkswagen emblems when we were kids, and I remember seeing theirs hanging on their wall, and V and the W is connected. But if you go and Google it right now, there's a little dash in between the V and W separating the two. I honestly never saw that until I really started looking into the whole conspiracy theory behind this. I'd never seen that emblem with the V dash and the W. And also on that same line, the Ford symbol. Now, I've never seen this, never paid attention until I heard this, but the F on the Ford, it's a distinct F. That's what they use for everything. And the bar across the middle is just a straight, kind of a little straight curved bar, right? Not anymore. Apparently, they added a little tiny swirl around it. And I've never seen that before. I used to own a Ford. My very first car was a Ford. And I do not remember having it a swirl on that car. My grandpa's truck, though, I honestly just noticed today that it has a little tiny swirl on it. That completely blew my fucking mind, because I'd never even seen that before. Like I just said, I've never heard about those two distinct differences on the logo until I started really looking into it. And then I was thinking about it today when I was thinking about doing the video, and I looked at my grandpa's truck and it had that logo. He's had this truck since he bought it brand new in 1999, and I've never noticed that it had that, because I've always had it in my mind that Ford, the F, was just a slight little bar. And the funny thing is, I absolutely hate Fords, so I don't even know why I'm defending it as much as I am. I'll be honest with you on this one, I noticed this myself. I don't know fully if this could be part of the conspiracy theory, but I did look into it a lot, and I remember the Energizer Bunny. Where did he have the battery? On the Energizer battery or bunny. I remember from when I was a kid, I remember watching the TV and everything and seeing all the commercials. All when I was growing up, the bunny had the battery on his back, in the middle of his back. I've seen dolls like that. I've seen costumes like that. Like I said, I grew up watching all the commercials like that. I've seen little toys like that. But now, and honestly, I haven't had TV in a long time, but I just saw an ad for Energizer Bunny on YouTube the other day, and the bunny had the battery on his fucking leg. And I've never noticed that before. So I go on and I Google it, and every single fucking picture I see with the bunny is with the battery on the right leg. So how come when I was a kid, all I remember is the bunny with it on his back, but now all I'm seeing is with it on his leg? And which that totally blew my mind when I totally saw that too. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about, and I honestly can't vouch for this because I don't remember the story at all because I was a little too young. But this is apparently one of the biggest ones, as part of the theory as well. Not quite as big as the Berenstain Bears one, but right under there. But apparently back in 1989, I believe it was, on June 5th, in Tiananmen, China, there was a big protest and everything, and there was a guy who was standing in front of a row of tanks, and apparently the tanks really did run him over and everything. And there was video footage of it and everything, and I've heard a lot of stories of everyone talking about it, people saying that they remember the tanks hitting them, they remember seeing the blood on the cement behind the tank and everything. But apparently now, if you were to Google it, I didn't Google it. I just heard this in other YouTube videos on this subject. But apparently, if you Google it and everything, apparently he never got hit, or something like that. So, I mean, like I said, I was way too young to understand this. I was maybe 5 when this happened. So, and I don't remember studying it in school either, but I still wanted to put that in because I did hear still a lot about it. But I don't know, what do you guys think about all this? To me personally, this shit completely blows my mind, because before I started looking into this, I noticed a lot of these differences, like definitely the Berenstain Bears ones. I noticed that when I had my daughter, when I started getting books again for her, and I noticed all the Berenstain Bear books that I have collected for her all are STAIN. and that kind of pisses me off because I really wish I would have saved all my books because I had pretty much all of them. But there, like I said, there's a lot of them on here that I already noticed before I heard about the conspiracy. Once I heard about it and started looking into it, my mind was just getting blown left and right, left and right. And I know there's a lot more into this, and I'm going to look into it as well. As you guys know, I'm out at my grandparents' cabin, so I don't have any Wi-Fi out here. Right before I left work today, I stumbled upon a video that apparently the CERN system, the CERN collider over in New Zealand or wherever it is, has something to do with this as well. So I'm going to watch that video first thing tomorrow to see what that says. The CERN Hadron Collider, that's what it's called. But I don't know, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts. So definitely, please leave me comments below. Sorry. I would love to hear your thoughts on the subject. If you remember the same as me, if you remember any of these being different, or if you remember them being the way they supposedly are now, or what, or if I didn't mention any, I would love to hear your thoughts on it too, guys. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the thought of me going on to big subjects like this. I think I kind of like it. I might try it again in a couple other videos. Again, guys, please give some thoughts and everything to all the people out there fighting the fire and everything. I know it's kind of big out there. On my way home, I even saw the glow of the fire over the horizon, and it was huge. Yeah, so I know it's not coming towards the cabin, so I think I'll be fine for now. But again, thank you for all your guys' thoughts who have sent it out and everything, and all my homies and friends that have sent their regards and offered me places to stay. I really do appreciate that, guys. But yeah, I don't really know too much else to talk to you guys about tonight. It's getting kind of late and everything. Oh, I guess it's only 9 o'clock. It feels a lot later than it is, I guess. Being out in the woods, if it wasn't for these two lights that are on, I wouldn't be able to see anything. Literally. I have all these windows, and yeah, I can't see anything out there. I kind of like it, but it is spooky. I always feel like there's somebody watching me, but I don't think so. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and get off here for tonight, guys. Go ahead and edit the video, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. So until then, guys, keep it wicked, whoop whoop, and whoop what.